Hey guys, just wanted to show the new character I'm building. I ended up giving up on the Frostbomb Chronomancer. I don't think Chronomancer is a very good ascendancy for the current state of the game. It really offers no straightforward damage boost, and the utility it offers is pretty. It's pretty much too slow for the current state of the game. But anyways, this is the latest build. It's a Aya Winter Invoker. Uh, Aya Winter has this bottom line here that says gains 50% of damage as corresponding type when passing over a ground surface. So Invoker has two ways to create ground surfaces. When you shock and freeze an enemy, it creates shock and freezing ground. And then also, I'm getting burning ground via temp chains with ritualistic curse. So that's adding burned, shocked, or shocked, burned, and chilled ground, which gives the skill 150% damage as extra. And because I'm an invoker and I ignore enemies' resistances when I crit, none of the base damage types matter because they all ended up doing the same amount of damage to the boss. Um, and then also, because Iowinter hits so often, you can really make use of this Unbound Avatar, and since I'm Tri-Elemental, I build up the stacks really fast. Um, so it's a big button you can press for some bonus damage. Uh, in the passive tree, this is really the only thing I would consider unique so far is the chain and fork. So I'm using Snake Pit to enable forking, and I create three additional projectiles each time I fork, and then I'm using Ricochet and this one to get, when I fork, those projectiles can then chain off a wall, and then hit the same enemy again. So for bosses and or mobs inside of single target zones, that's quite strong. And then you can take advantage of some interesting nodes like this, or elemental damage if you chilled, or if you shocked. Eventually I'll have this one once I get some more fire damage. Uh, Mainly when I anoint this, I think, is what I'm going to go for. Um, this gives you quite a bit of little damage boost, and then I'll be igniting. So you get some pretty efficient damage clusters. Using resonance. So when I use combat frenzy, so when I freeze an enemy, I can gain a frenzy charge, which resonance changes that frenzy charge into a power charge, and then I'm using charge infusion to get more critical strike chance when I have a power charge or when I consume one. Um, so it ends up being a nice little boost to critical strike chance. And then my last aura is Ghost Dance, Grim Feast. These are just kind of baseline evasion ES nodes, and then for the remaining of my spirit, I'm using Arctic Armor. I'm not dead set on this one quite yet, but it works. I don't really know what else to put here, but it's just for when an enemy does hit me, it freezes him. I should level that real quick. Should give that way more damage. Yeah, there we go. I already covered the temp chains. Oh, and Flame Wall. So Flame Wall is super good on Aya Winter because it says it adds 80 to 115 added fire damage. So when you read this skill, it only has 149 per projectile, so this is like 90% extra flat damage. And then I believe if this is shot through this, and then it goes over grounds, I believe, or a ground type, it should get all that extra damage from both sources. So it's a huge multiplier to the damage to use Flame Wall. Also, an interesting note about the burning ground types or the ground types is when a map has shock ground, chilled ground, or burning ground, it actually interacts with the Eye of Winter, giving it a damage boost. So a negative, usually almost purely negative um, map modifier turns into a semi-positive. I would say the weakest part of the character so far is probably the mana sustain, because I'm trying to jack up the base level of the skill so much to get some more damage out of it. It costs an absurdly amount to cast, even with inspiration and some reduced cost nodes in the tree. So that's pretty unfortunate. Some better rings would solve some of that, and then also some probably better jewels would be the next source of being able to fix that. So plan on tackling that, and also just getting levels will give me more mana. Getting more int as I travel will also give more. So it is solvable. For mapping, a 2% mana on kill jewel kind of helps fix some of the mana cost. This should be the boss, yeah. Okay, so this is a max difficulty boss. It is tier 4. Let's see what I can do here. So yeah, mana regen is definitely the biggest problem as far as maintaining single target. But I think it's a pretty neat little build. I haven't seen too many spellcaster monks. There's still a ton of potential in this build, especially on the top end. So I'll probably keep messing with it. I'm having some fun. At first I was definitely being frustrated. Playing Eye of Winter up front, I swapped straight into it at level 52, and you really have to have crit chance. You have to have a pretty high crit rating to make Eye of Winter feel good, because the base damage is super duper low. So yeah, probably if I could do it over again, I generally level builds as soon as I can as the skill, but this one would probably be one of those exceptions where I would wait to level it. Probably play like Spark, or insert whatever spell you like until you get your crit chance around 50 or 60, but playing it with like 17 crit, I think I did for a bit, it felt really bad because it just doesn't do any damage, and when you're not critting the chilled or shock grounds, so you're losing extra damage there. But yeah, overall, it works pretty good. Future plans would probably be getting Alone from the Darkness with damage as extra lightning. I think it should hit all of these right here. So that'll be a nice little damage boost. And then getting some levels, got some jewels I could improve, filling out some more crit. And then just generally better gear. Cast speed and mana regen would also be a big thing I would try to solve. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys like it.